Hello, my name is Eric Roeder. I work in business development for Codilation. We're a team of website developers, software engineers, and just overall super nerds. We develop apps and websites in the obvious technology hub that is Fargo, North Dakota. That summary of my life sounds dreadful to most of the world, but I absolutely love my community and I love my job. Every week I meet incredible people who are absolutely inspiring. They have new business ideas or are spearheading giant projects to make our community better, or just are smarter than me and have great professional knowledge to share. I thought it would be relatively selfish to keep all of this information to myself, so I decided to start a little talk show. Welcome to my office. My guest this week is Amanda McKinnon. She's the owner and founder of her own marketing agency, Mspire. She's also a super fun person and very involved in our community. She's actually involved with the organization Imagine Thriving, which provide mental health education, prevention, and advocacy for youth in the area. And we're going to talk a little bit this week about both. All right. Thank you, Amanda, for being here. Yes. I'm really excited to have you on the show this week. We'll just kind of jump right into it. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I am Amanda McKinnon, or Mandy, call me what you will,
yes.
With Mspire, which is a branding and marketing firm. And I jokingly say firm because it's just me.
Right.
But, you know, I like to sound a little bit bigger than I am sometimes.
That works. And it's worked because I've seen your stuff.
Yeah.
And I see the bodacious brander. Can you talk a little bit about, for people who don't know, about branding?
Yes, absolutely. So I think that, you know, a lot of people, when they think of branding, they think of a logo or a business card or signage, things like that. But I always like to do a deeper dive into it for my customers and really look at it from a customer experience, both internally and externally. Your culture is also your brand. So
yes.
Really, how you look is tied into everything, and how you make people feel is tied into everything, and that's branding.
Your story is your brand.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, and everything that happens or goes on in your business is your brand,
yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people get that.
No.
And so you bodaciously figure that
I do.
And I made a little business chart this week, explaining my thoughts on the word bodacious.
All right, I like it.
And so you can see here, these are the people that can get away with using the word bodacious. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Michelangelo, you, and then the rest of living creatures.
Like, I love this
you're
chart.
In a very rarefied air.
Living underground, if you will, eating pizza.
Well, I do that. So that's not weird. And I actually, in a little nerd shelf, I've made the epicenter of bodacious is like right here in all of her.
I love it. That's
and
awesome.
So yeah, we have Mikey this week as a special guest.
Perfect.
And so
Mikey.
I'd like to take a little bit more of a serious turn. We were doing a website giveaway, and that was kind of one of our marketing pieces this Christmas. And someone from an organization, Imagine Thriving, kind of talked to you and said, you guys should nominate yourself. And then the nomination came in, and I didn't really know what Imagine Thriving was. So can you explain what that is?
Yes, absolutely. So Imagine Thriving really is about education, prevention, and advocacy around mental health for youth.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was on the board, and actually most recently Lutheran Social Services took over Imagine Thriving, but some really cool things have happened around that too. North Dakota Family Services just presented them with a presidential award
awesome.
This week, which was amazing. So I'm no longer on the board because LSS had their own functioning board, but it's still an organization that I love and support. And now they get to do great things across the whole state of North Dakota versus just in our local region here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And what's we were having pizza one time.
Yes.
And it was,
Pizza.
Hello. Michelangelo was not there, but he was there in my heart.
Yes.
And we both talked about how we had both kind of gone through depression. And I remember that it's really always kind of comes at me at a weird angle when I meet other people that have that really outgoing, fun, positive personality that have gone through that. And I remember I was later in college, and I saw Prairie St. John's, and it said, "Oh, are you tired all the time? Are you?" And it went through all of this list of things. I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's me. maybe I should go figure something out.
Chat with somebody.
And so then I went and I found out that I was severely depressed, and I didn't even know that was a thing.
Right.
And so since then, we've turned things around, and I'm aware of it now, and I feel it's my job to kind of tell those stories. And so can you tell us a little bit about your story?
Yes, I would agree. I think it's interesting because depression, it seems like most people think it's connected to sadness. And that's not at all the symptoms that I was experiencing. I was having a really hard time paying attention to detail and even focusing, which as a business owner and, even a creative with writing and designing, that just wasn't going well for me.
No, I was failing my classes and I was just like, I'm smarter than this.
Yes, exactly. And so it's so frustrating. And of course, as many people do, they hop on the Google.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, I have adult ADHD. Let's go in and see if there's a pill for that.
Right.
There wasn't. And I didn't have that. I was diagnosed with depression. And so, that was also, a hard pill, literally and figuratively for me to swallow. But man, what a difference it made in my world knowing it. And
just
then
knowing has made me like so much more well equipped to handle it.
Yep. And two, even seeing, kind of triggers in other people and me and you being willing to open up that conversation as successful, happy people, lets people know that they're not alone.
And that you just feel like you're on a weird island. And I would, my challenge to our viewers this week is to reach out to someone, go through your Facebook. Someone needs a little, hey, how's it going? I would ask everybody just to reach out to a friend that think that they might need it. Because they do. Yeah.
It's interesting. You talk about, hopping on Facebook. Since that kind of level of awareness has now been instilled in me, and then even being on the board with Imagine Thriving, you learn a lot more about mental health, obviously. And there's been, people that I've seen clearly struggling, on social media and not necessarily putting it out there and saying I'm depressed, but you can just see the messages that they're putting out there.
Yes.
And I've done that. I've just reached out to people, and it's been pretty cool because I've had people now, they've gone to therapy, and I always said, if the first therapist doesn't work, don't quit. Try another one. Yep. I mean, we have to make sure. I'm a big vibe person. And so I think that everybody needs to find kind of that resource that helps them.
And that's how I was able to, you find your therapist that gets what you're doing and gets you as a person.
Absolutely.
And then that helps with the steps. And so I'd like to kind of switch back a little bit to business. Is there anything that my audience can do to help you and Mspire?
Yeah. I guess, branding is my baby. It's my love. So if there is, any organization that you know of that is struggling with branding, even struggling with telling their story, what that looks and sounds like, I would love to just sit down and chat with them. I'm a pretty chill individual, to connect with. And
she eats pizza.
Yeah,
she
right.
Likes pizza meetings. I know, that's worst case scenario. You eat pizza,
right? Yeah, and so it's just really all about conversations and connecting. And there's certain situations where I might not be the right resource, but I know a ton of people, and I love this community.
To connect people to the right people.
We can always, that's what it's about. So,
I love it. And so thank you for being here. Yes, thank you for being brave and telling your story. That's not for everyone, but I think it is important for people like us to say that. If you have any questions about branding, you should probably talk to Amanda because she's bodacious.
Yes, I am bodacious.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Thank you.
I think we got it.
Yeah.